Hello there. Welcome to Sanders Presents. If you're enjoying the content we're producing, please consider liking this video, subscribing to the channel, making sure you have notifications turned on, and consider becoming a YouTube channel member by following a link in the description below to support the channel. So, we're going to dive right into it. And as always, as of the recording of this video, there is no official news or press on this data mine or on this Wakanda raid. There is nothing official to share. This is simply what we can glean from information within the game, which, to be absolutely frank, isn't very much. Now, at one point or another, I feel like scheduling and plans were different. I think we can all agree on that. I think if we look at the state of where the world was, if we look at how Avengers had already been delayed, then we can come to a conclusion that no doubt there was a different schedule. There was a different plan at one point in terms of post-launch support. We have no specific ideas on what this Wakanda raid entails. We don't know if the use of the word raid in the data mine is something specific that we should pay attention to, if it is going to be something new and thrilling, or if it's just code and it's going to end up being something that isn't what we expect of a raid. And I say that because depending on the type of gamer you are, depending on the type of games you experience, we're going to have different ideas on what a raid is. We're going to have different feelings on what a raid is. I come from games like World of Warcraft or Star Wars The Old Republic. Those have very in-depth, very involved raids with very specific strategies, and everyone has to work together. The players have to work together. I mean, in WoW's case, back in the day, I was leading a guild with 40 people. I mean, we were talking about 40-man raids. That's huge. That's massive. And most scenarios, the average consumer doesn't encounter that. In Destiny, the first Destiny, which is the one that I primarily played, the Vault of Glass was a big one. And I have to give Bungie credit. They turned around very quickly and gave us raids. They gave us raiding content very soon after release. We were able to get leveled and geared, and the day the raid launched, we were playing it, and our guild beat it that night. Something that I was very proud of. And that was only 6 people. And so it just goes to show you the size difference. That's what she said. But it also, you know, Vault of Glass was really involved. I love Vault of Glass. I still love that. I am very nostalgic for the Vault of Glass raid. I have great memories with everyone in that raid and how many times we went over it. And I feel the same way about, you know, over a decade of WoW. I've been playing WoW since 2004. There's been a lot of raids. And now the amount of people going into a raid has changed. It's not 40 people in the live game. Now, again, WoW Classic's a different story. But I still love all that content. I still have great memories associated with it. But a question I've been asked since, you know, we've discussed the Wakanda raid is, what will a raid entail? There's no way of knowing that. There's frankly not enough information here. It's very difficult to put together. There might be some, some light puzzles, I guess is the best way to kind of describe it. There could be something very basic, but it's just impossible to know how Avengers will approach it, or if they're actually going to call it a raid. That's the big thing. We're talking about content that is, at this point right now, over a year old. In terms of a Wakanda raid in the data mine. We have no idea if it's been canceled. We have no idea if it's been reimagined into something smaller. We don't know if we're going to see the use of the word raid within this. And that's a big takeaway here, because oftentimes, you know, we keep coming back to this idea of, and I still get questions about this, about data mining, and there is still to this day a misunderstanding on what data mining actually is. It is not a complete roadmap. Just because it is found doesn't mean you will definitely see it. And again, we have our Star Wars Battlefront 2 data mine to just kind of give more proof of, like, a game can be shut down before any of that happens. You know, a game can be shut down. Plans can change somewhere during the production, development, and arrival of this post-launch content. There are way too many variables in a live service game. We can, use data mining loosely, but we can't use data mining in place of a roadmap. Yeah, if that makes sense. I mean, you can't look at it and go and expect that to be a roadmap. There aren't dates in a data mine. There is no unlock. This isn't fully formed and accessible. And there's very key differences when we talk about a data mine. So I always want to be I want to be clear and upfront on that, because there's still misunderstandings surrounding data mining. I can't open up the RAID and run it, so to speak. The RAID doesn't have a launch date in the code. And again, because of the way it works, it could have been completely reshuffled. It could have been shelved. We just don't know. Now, to answer the other question, is it too late? I mean, if it is, and I'm going to play devil's advocate because the question isn't exactly clear, so I'm going to frame it how I think the user is suggesting it, but the sort of is it too late for this kind of rating content? And so in terms of playing devil's advocate, I'm going to look at this as, let's say that it is a raid like Vault of Glass. Obviously, we're not going to compare it to World of Warcraft, because World of Warcraft is better and is far more involved in terms of structure and in terms of rating. So let's look at what Avengers is pretty much, Avengers is Destiny. I've been saying this since I leaked Avengers. I've not hidden this any. I've always called this game Marvel's Destiny. Clever play on words though it may be, it is quite specifically that. They really did take, they were inspired. Let's say inspired. Whether you want to say ripped off, whether you want to say inspired, they definitely did take the Destiny foundation and try to turn it into a superhero. So I think it's fair to compare that. Now, right now at Avengers, you can only have a team of 4 people. I'm gonna have to say it, and I know I repeat this a lot. 4 people isn't enough. I'm sorry, but as you're adding more heroes and stuff, at the very least 6. I'm sorry, but like some content, just put us with more people, And I say that, but we already can't find anyone. It's still difficult to find people. So I want to get ahead of any comments that say, well, we can't find, 3 other people right now. How can, expect us to find 5 people? And okay, I get that, but I just don't think 4 people, I just don't think it's big enough. That's what she said. I would rather have more involved content. I would rather have more players involved, and I would rather, push interactions better. The thing about raids, in terms of Vault of Glass, again, we're using that as a comparison, and, we can say WoW as well. If a game is broken, if there's a lot of problems and bugs, a raid will be utterly disappointing, and it will be a travesty. Vault of Glass would not have worked if it was broken, and if it was as broken as Marvel's Avengers is. WoW would have fallen apart if its launch raid was as broken as Marvel's Avengers currently is across every console. No matter what PlayStation or Xbox or PC you play on, it is pretty much it's broken, and there are still bugs. That is my biggest concern if there is, if this does end up being a raid type of environment. That is my biggest concern about being able to pull it off with the problems that are still persisting in Marvel's Avengers. That is my biggest concern. So as it is, there is nothing significant really to add to this. Again, I will continue to point out, it says raid in the data mine. I don't know if this thing launches, or when it launches, if it's still going to even be referred to as a raid. I don't know what the trajectory for Marvel's Avengers is right now. And again, as of the recording of this video. To my YouTube members, thank you so much for your support and for making this content possible. If you're interested in becoming a YouTube member, you can follow a link in the description below and support the channel today for $2.99 a month. Thank you for considering. To everyone watching, thank you so much for being a part of the conversation. I really do appreciate it. Please consider liking this video, subscribing to this channel, and consider sharing this content with your friends across social media. It helps immensely with YouTube's analytics and algorithms. And I also want to give a special shout out today to our YouTube member, Liz Edits, and her really awesome musical videos. And I want to thank her for her recent collaborations. Above all else, and most importantly, stay safe, take care of others, and have a wonderful day. Bye, everyone.